Glenn Kuiper Show, All Giants. We're running a little late, but we got it in. We have hooked up with our special guest tonight, Jeremy Affeldt. Jeremy, you hear us okay?
I can. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yes, I can.
All right.
So better late than never. That's all right. Where the heck are you?
Well, I'm in this glamping tent in Big Cedar Lodge, and I thought it'd be a cool idea. I'm like, we needed to get away. Obviously, you guys have heard about the Texas floods that's been happening. Yeah. That's only about 20 minutes from the house. So we've had a lot of chaos going on, and Candace and I have been doing a lot of scenarios for that, and we've been dealing with a lot of stuff. And so I was like, let's get away for like 4 days. So I found this Big Cedar Lodge. It's a Johnny Morris, Bass Pro guy, right? He's got this huge lodge, and I found, so they got a glamping tent, and she's like, let's try it. And it's definitely, it's interesting. It's awesome. Except for when it's 104 out, it doesn't really keep up AC wise with the day, but in the evening like this, it actually starts to cool down. So it just looks like I'm in the middle of a safari somewhere, but I'm really not. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's glad to know you're okay. So we appreciate everybody joining us. Jeremy Affeldt, the former San Francisco Giants left-hander, one of the most popular players in the last 25 years. And I appreciate Jeremy joining us on the YouTube channel. Again, the Glenn Kuiper Show, All Giants. You folks know the drill. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We want the comments. We'll answer questions. And we're going to talk about a little bit of everything with Jeremy Affeldt, what's going on with him now, and the good old days of when you were winning World Series championships with the Giants. Right. But tell us a little bit about what you're doing. I know you're a brewmaster. You're a beer maker. You got your own place down there. You're down in Texas, southern Texas, right? And tell us about the brewmaster thing.
Yeah, so I am not the brewmaster. I'm the side. So Candace and I are strictly on the business side, but our brewmaster actually is from the Bay Area. We got him, Jaron Shepard, out of 21st Amendment. So he has come over with us. But we've done great things, man. We just won the gold in the World Beer Cup. We actually just became the best amber lager in the world. So we have won that, and we've won a lot of medals here recently, but we've been put on the map, especially for that. And then the environment that we've created, I took a lot from the Giants, and Candace is also, my wife is a brilliant businesswoman. And so we have created atmosphere. We created marketing. We create music. We do trivia. So we just have a fun venue as well within the brewery on Main Street in Bernie there. And it's been crazy awesome. We've had a great time with it. It's been stressful, but it's been good.
Well, I have to admit, I've had a few beers at the 21st Amendment, as most of us have, right outside, right up the street in the ballpark, and always thought it was a pretty cool place. So you got that guy to leave here to go down to Texas.
Yep, and he's been doing good.
What you do as a salesman, put it that way.
What's that?
I said either you or your wife, good salesman to pull that off.
Yeah. Oh no, I tell you what, it was actually the perfect storm though, because it was right in the middle of COVID. So it was like nothing was going on there. And so when I told him, hey, I'd love to start this up, working obviously at that time, and I didn't want to disrespect 21st Amendment either. I appreciate those guys. I know those guys. So I kind of got permission. I was like, I'm not trying to poach him, but it's something that I want to do. And he was able to become the head brewmaster. So for him, it was a chance for him to be able to kind of go on his way a little bit and start some stuff and learn that way too. So it kind of was a perfect storm for us to kind of put the scene together at the same time.
Well, good. It's fun to find out what the ex-Giants are doing right now. And that sounds like good stuff. But let's get to some baseball talk. Jeremy Affeldt, I looked at the baseball reference page. I mean, I know how good you were, but it's still fun to look, right? And dig into these numbers. And, I think people with the Giants understand how good you are or how good you were because of what you did with the Giants. But, I mean, your career was terrific. You deserve a lot of credit, and you should be really proud of that. 14 years as a big leaguer, 7 with the Giants. We know about the 3 world championships. I was curious, how many games did Jeremy Affeldt pitch in? 774 times you took the mound, and your arm is still okay. So that's something to be said. But you have a lot to be proud of, and obviously the most important thing is the World Championships here in San Francisco. But But that's a heck of a career you put together. I mean, how often do you look back and go, you know what, that was pretty damn good?
Yeah, that's a great question. To be honest with you, I didn't really think about it while I was playing. Some guys do, some guys don't. I just didn't. I just played and knew when it was time to go, it's time to go. And looking back now, yeah, I for the longest time, I actually got therapy over it, to be honest with you. And there's a lot of us that get therapy after our career because we don't know how to deal with transition, right? It's really hard. And I didn't even promote it. Like in my house, when I first, after I retired, all my stuff, we moved to Texas, and all my stuff stayed in this kind of like this pool house like type thing where there was like a sauna, and I put everything in there. I didn't even take it out. And finally my therapist said, you have to. And I'm like, well, I want closure. I need to turn the page. It's great what I did, but I don't want to live in that. Right. I need to move on. And she's like, it's not really about that. It's about actually respecting what you did do and give yourself permission to respect what you did do. Cause you lasted a long time in the big leagues, more than average. You fought through a lot of battles. You fought through a lot of ups and downs. You wanted to quit so much, and then you kept going. Finally won world championships. Reflect on that. And so being able to reflect on that, man, I think now I appreciate the successes that I've had, but also the opportunities I was given to continue playing. One, I stayed healthy pretty much the whole time. I had weird injuries, but I didn't have shoulder or elbow. So the bread and butter stayed intact. And I was able just to kind of grind it out. And I'm thankful I did, because it taught me a lot on just getting through everything and pressing through. And baseball's hard, man. And so to play it a long time and to do it successfully and have the world championships was really, really awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's probably hard for people to understand, not just baseball players, any professional athletes, but when you've had a professional athletic career, and you've obviously done that for a long time. And not only that, but you also played baseball or football or basketball from when you were a little kid, right? To get to where you're at. And then to have it all of a sudden be over. And all of a sudden, there's no more teammates. There's no more, fun plane rides. There's no more, team parties. There's no more locker room. There's no more crowd cheering for you. I have to imagine that that's very, very difficult for former players. And, I appreciate you being honest with some of the things you went through, but I think it's probably pretty common, don't you?
It is. And I think you don't really know it. Like I never really thought that I would make baseball my identity, because I had a lot going on, right? I didn't only play baseball. I was a big family guy. Obviously I was raising boys, but I was in the community. I love public speaking, so I was able to do that. So it was like, oh, this isn't my identity. This isn't all I've got going. And I knew that the whole time. However, it is just unavoidable that when that book closes, you no longer have routine. You no longer are being asked to pitch in big games. You're not getting phone calls. And the game moves on, right? But the game moves on from the greatest. I mean, let's take some of the greatest ever played. Derek Jeter. The second he retired, no one talked about him anymore. It wasn't that, and he's a Hall of Famer, but no stories were on him, no highlight films were done. There's none. The game moves on, and it's so for you, it's like, well, hold on a second. What is my purpose now? Like, why do I get up every day? I knew then I got up every day because I had to prepare for a game, but now I don't have to prepare for a game. So that purpose, it gets rattled a little bit, and you're right. And I think the number one thing that I think, I've talked to several guys, and it is pretty consistent. The one thing that I miss is the team camaraderie, that clubhouse hang time, every day. You can't find it. You can't replicate it. And even if I want to go to the golf course and be like, hey, I'm going to get my buddies together, we're going to golf course, I'm going to razz them. Hey, let's go golf. They're like, hey, Jeremy, we have jobs. We don't get to retire at 36, So that can't even get on the golf course at the same time. So it's super, it's a big change, man. And you got to get used to it, and you got to change. You got to get to a different life. And what does normal life look like? And that's a tough deal for a lot of us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can imagine. I sort of get what you're saying. And you know what, though? Some guys are able to move on. I think there's some guys who aren't able to move on. Right. And you feel kind of bad.
Oh, there's a lot of guys that are unable to do it. Yeah, for sure. For sure, there are, and and you want to walk with those guys through it. It's tough. I mean, I went and did the MLB does a thing for players that are thinking about transitioning, right? They flew me up and they to Vegas, I think a couple years ago, right? And they're like, hey, come in on the entrepreneur side and just talk about what it means to start. Because I was in a room full of guys. Some of them were very successful guys, and some of them were young players that were going to get maybe their 2-3 years in the big leagues, and some of them just knew they weren't going to make it. And I'm looking out across the sea of faces, and a lot of these guys got their wives, and they're all sitting there like, what do we do? We played till we're 30. So it's not like whatever I went to college for, I can just jump right into right away. Mm-hmm. Maybe I could. Then you got high school guys that never went to college, so now they're trying to figure out if they should go to college or get a job or what should they do. I mean, and you got to talk to these kids, man, and it's a tough deal. So, and some people it's deer in a headlight sometimes of what next, and it's a scary thing when you feel like you've got to figure out what to do next with your life for the next really majority of your life, right? Like it's the majority of your life you have left.
Sure.
It's tough.
Hey, let's talk about one of your old teammates, Buster Posey. Are you surprised that he took the job that he took, where he's the man? I mean, he's in charge of everything baseball related with the Giants. We all know how sharp he is. He's full of class. He gets it and all that. But as you know him as a teammate and as a baseball guy, when he took that job, what were some of your initial thoughts?
Well, one, I thought he was crazy at first, and it's like, because it's that thing, right? But again, it doesn't matter how long you played or how much money you made. I got the majority of my life left, and I can't just sit around like that. And those guys in that era of baseball, those guys that made $100+ million, that to me is really hard. You do not have to work for the rest of your life. But then you're like, I got to do something with my life. Yeah. But then it's like, but I don't have to do anything. So it's hard to get going. So for a guy like Buster, I kind of knew something was brewing when he moved back from Georgia back to the Bay Area. And I'm like, wait, you just moved back to the Bay Area? He's like, yeah. I'm like, why? Like, because his family all lives in Georgia, right? So he's like, well, Chris and the kids, I mean, they grew up the whole time and they did. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I think there's some other stuff. So it didn't surprise me when he took that job, because his baseball mind is so good, but it's not just the baseball mind. It's how he views the game. And he doesn't get too high. He doesn't get too low. You watched him play for 12 years. The guy never really gave you a hug until you won the World Series. Like there was never this, he didn't freak out, and he was a student of the game. He was an unbelievable catcher. He controlled the running game. He could hit. He understands pitching. He understands all those things. So for me, it's one of those things where I look at that, I'm like, this guy's got a perfect brain for the game, because he understands talent. He's not going to get too high or too low. He gets the rhythm of the game, and he's really smart, and he's going to make good decisions. And so I think it's a great move. And I think that I think he's going to love what he does. I think there's sometimes where he will sit down and be like, why did I do this again? There's going to be those days, right? Sure. But I think he's good for the game of baseball, and he's good for the Giants.
No, he was your catcher, for forever. And one of my the things that made me laugh the most was, and I mean, you had great stuff, but you drop a scud in there once in a while, right? It would bounce, a couple feet in front of home plate. Yeah. Watching Buster's reaction after blocking it was actually pretty comical. Probably didn't feel good to him. And I said, I got to ask you about that, because there had to be times where Buster in the dugout or came to the mound and was like, seriously, dude, you're freaking killing me.
Oh, man, I promise you. There was one time, I think it was in the playoffs, I threw a fastball because I turned over my sinker. So I really wanted to finish this sinker, and I overturned it. And I think I hit the grass. It was so bad because I was really trying to make it give me something here. And it hit the grass, and he jumped midair, and it hit him right in the chest. And the hitter's laughing. I can't remember who I was pitching against. The hitter's laughing. I'm actually laughing. I'm like, that that's not even possible as a pro athlete to do what I just did right there, right? Like, how's that possible? And the umpire is like, what? And Buster walks out and he taps the spot that it hit and started filling it in. And he looks at me, he's like, you threw it right there. I was like, I'm very aware, Buster. Get behind the plate, catch the ball. Okay. Like, I'm very aware. But he would do stuff that was so funny. And I even told him, I was like, hey man, I'm thinking about coming back. And he's like, no one else wants to catch balls in their throat. Like, they all saw it happen to me. You're good. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just like, it's so he's so funny, man. But we him that I think at some point in time with my curveball, I'd snap my curveball so bad sometimes where he just quit calling it. And I was like, Buster, I have a curveball. He's like, I know you do. I'm like, well, call it. He's like, why? Well, because I want to throw my curveball. He's like, yeah, but I need something that's going to get to me. So I need the sinker because the curveball, he goes, I got to become a hockey goalie and I don't want to right now. So I'm calling sinker. So, I mean, it was great banter back and forth, but he would let you know. He would laugh back there too.
He had that look for a few guys. It wasn't just you. I mean,
yeah. Like, how are these guys in the big leagues right now? Exactly. That's how he's got to look. Like, what?
Yeah, and I got an ice after the game. So tell me about these World Series teams that you were on. I mean, you obviously got 3. Everybody knows that. And I wanted to ask you: was there something that ran through those 3 teams that was kind of the overriding factor? Because it was mostly the same guys, but you also had new guys sprinkled in each year. So I can't say that every year was the same because that's not the way it works. Right. But was there some string running through those 3 teams that made them, what they were?
Well, I think you had just a crazy group of guys, a team camaraderie, right? That you had. And I understand people are like, yeah, but you have team camaraderie and you never won a series. Like, but there was the way they built that team. And that's my big thing. The way they built the team. So the way Sabian and Bobby Evans built the team is they built it with the playoff mentality. Listen, you got 162 games. Like, you're not going to win them all. You're trying to win 90 games is what you're trying to shoot for sometimes, right in that area, right? And I think even with the Giants in 2010, we won 88. I don't think we got to 90, And so you have those games where that. But what they did is they said, if this team can just get to the playoffs, they're built to win because you got 3 starters and you've got a back end of a bullpen. If you've got that in the era we played in, offense, great. Let them score 5 runs. But when you had Kane, Lincecum, Bogey, Bumgardner, and then you had basically in one point you had Kane, Bum, and Lincecum, and those 3 guys, and then Bogey when he came in 2012. Now you got 4 starters, and they all and then Timmy came into the bullpen with us. That's how good those other 3 guys are running, and Timmy saved our butts a lot of times because he would come in and give you some 3-4 innings where we didn't have to pitch. So they built this thing to win. They built this thing to pitch, and they built these guys with the built-in days off. We didn't have to pitch every day, so we could always be available to pitch. And that same group, we don't like losing. Like, not one of those pitchers out there. When Kane's on the mound, he didn't show any emotion. He didn't, right? You never. But he was a bulldog, man. He does not want to lose. He's not going to get beat by a Bogey. That guy, I mean, he's just angry, and Bum, he's angry, when they're pitching. And Timmy's out there throwing 98 with splits that you've never even seen before. I haven't even seen the pitch. I mean, it moves everywhere. Like, he could throw a no-hitter at any point in time when he was running hard. I mean, his first playoff game against the Braves, he punched out 14 dudes. Like, that was something where everybody knew, hey, the Giants are beatable in the season. Do not let them get to the playoffs. And they knew when we got to the playoffs, they were like, here we go, because now it's going to be some 88-team or 90-game winner that's going to win the World Series, and this 102-game winner is going to get knocked out. Like, because we're built to win in the playoffs, and I really feel that way. And then you had guys like Pence and Pablo and keeping the hype up, and you just had this mix and match of guys that you can't replicate. And then you put a manager that's a genius behind him playing the chess game. Like the formula was perfect for the playoffs. You just had to get there.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. And we've seen baseball long enough now where bullpens are very volatile. It's hard to take guys from year to year to year to year and know that wow, that guy's going to be good. We know he's good, because there seems to be a lot of inconsistencies with relievers, and that's why what you guys did, I think, was so special. I mean, to the point where you have your own name, the core four, right? All four of you guys, Romo, Casilla, Lopez, and you were all there, all pitched great in each one of the World Series teams. And I don't know if people realize how special that was, to have four guys all be good each year and win 3 World Series, because it is. I mean, you see bullpens every year. A guy's good one year, struggles the next. And it's the same thing with this guy, and you're not quite sure what you got each year in the bullpen. So, I think that was pretty special what you four did. And the fact that you have your own name, that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. And that's one of the things that I don't think we really focus. Again, when you think about looking back, on your career, and you look back at who you got to win with in there, and the way we could understand each other, the way we knew how to pitch based on knowing who was in the bullpen. I come into the game, I'm purposely going to walk a guy knowing that I got a double play situation on deck. So I might do that because I'm not going to give in. But I also don't have to give in because I know Romo's up there and he's going to throw that frisbee slider and tell him what's coming, and he's going to. So I pitch strategically to that, also knowing that Javi is going to come in behind Romo a lot of times, and lock down some stuff. And then Casilla comes in, and then Casilla and Romo were flip-flopping on the closer role. Javi and I just kind of were plug and play in that situation, right? And so you force managers. If I come into the game and there's a lefty, you can pull the lefty out to a switch hitting righty, which is fine. Yeah. I'll take that guy on, knowing now that lefty's now out of the game and he's a big time player. But if you leave him in the game saying, well, I need a hitter, I got to have my guy in because I got to have him in for the 8th inning. Well, you're going to face Javi. So Romo will come from the righty and Javi will come in and face that lefty. And you really don't have any. So these managers were having a hard time figuring out how they were going to run this skit. And that was our advantage, right? And we all pitched to that. So for me, I mean, you had a lefty from here, you had a lefty from way down here, you had Romo from right here from the right side, and Casilla coming. You had all these arm angles coming at you, man. And Bochy just sat there in this. I'm just going to run this little chess match, man, and play. I mean, it was super fun to do.
Now, I'm always curious about life in the bullpen because, I know you some now and you're super fun, great personality. But, we talk about the core four, but you had some guys down there, man, like Brian Wilson for a couple of years and Contos. And then there's people that you almost forgot. Guillermo Mota was there for a long time, right? He was a big part of that. Yusmeiro Petit. So you had some guys down there, but forget about what they did on the field. I want to know who was the most fun in the bullpen.
Yeah.
Outside of you.
Yeah. Oh, man. You know what? I mean, I'd say, Wilson, he was the weirdest. He was fun. He was fun because he was weird.
No, he wasn't. Come on.
Because he would sit down, but he wouldn't be a normal closer. He'd come down with us. Most closers don't even roll out there until the 6th. He would come down the first 4 innings. He'd wear his little hoodie. He'd have his hood on with his beard, and we'd sit there and mess around. But you believe it or not, he was actually paying attention to the game. So he was watching how people were. But we would mess around so bad down there. I mean, Gardy, I think, wanted to kill us at some point. But I mean, we played this game where we had we'd have these cups out and you had seeds and water in them, and you'd had to try to flick seeds into these cups, and you had to try to compete on, and then we'd mess with the fans, and Javi was the professor. He'd joke around. We really wouldn't talk. Honestly, I didn't pay attention to the game the first 4 innings. So, I mean, if Boch were to put me in the 5th inning in a normal season, I would have no idea what's going on. It would have been a bad deal, because I just didn't pay attention. In the playoffs, I had to pay attention the whole time. Yeah. But, during the season, and then Casillas going down there, he's trying to tell jokes, but then you couldn't understand him. You're messing with him and having fun with him. And Romo was just being a goofball, and it was part of Romo's way, him being a goofball in the sense of like, sometimes messing with fans or something, but that was Romo's way of like not allowing the stress, right? Like the anxiety, keep the anxiety away. But Petit, he didn't really talk. He just kind of sat down there and just kind of stared at him. He talked to you, but he wasn't. There was no like messing around. I mean, I'd be over there trying to roll my gum, and I'd try to throw it and try to get one of the outfielders to step in it, I do all kinds of stuff out there, and then in the Giants, we didn't have a bullpen like they do now. So, Rags would always kick us out because I'm over there trying to throw gum and the third base coach's batter's box trying to get him a step in it, mid pitch, as he's moving around. So Rags would always get mad because he's like, get out of here, you causing problems. So we'd get kicked out. We'd have to go underneath. It was a lot of storytelling. It was a lot of fun jokes. There were a lot of Raz and Contos. We wore him out. I mean, you saw what we did in Kangaroo Court with the fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we wore him down. We wore him out so bad, but he could take it, right? And he liked messing with it back and having a good time. But it stays pretty lighthearted down there, with all that stuff. But Wilson definitely, to me, was a character. He was definitely a character. I mean,
do you think about what you're doing? You're sitting down there. It's just 7, 8 guys, a catcher, a coach, every night. So you better have some fun. And you can't take life too serious if you're doing that every single night. And you're going to have to come in and pitch at some point. But, man, I always think I would have to have 4 or 5 things to do every night.
Yeah.
Just to allow myself to just survive down there. Otherwise, you're just sitting there. You drive yourself crazy.
Yeah, you would. It's too much. So you have to distract yourself, whether you're telling jokes, you're talking about different things, or we bring up random topics, right? We just, let's talk about this topic, or we'd mess with Billy Hayes, all the time, or we would, we'd say different things. I would run down in the 5th, go get stretched. I just need a little bit of a break from looking through that fence for first 4 innings. And, I just want to run down, go get stretched, watch it on the TV, get the pulse of the dugout while you're down there, to kind of see what's going on, but then run back out, right, and have a good time. But we would do a lot of pranks. I mean, we would mess with fans all the time. And I mean, just because you felt like you're in a zoo. There were so many times that I wanted to actually put a sign that says "Don't feed the animals" because people just stare at you like in a zoo and just like, or we'd send guys over to the kids would yell for a ball, and finally we got tired of it. We're like, hey, the ball's in the ball. The only way to get a ball is to go ask the opposing bullpen for the key to the right-handed batter's box. If they have a key to the right-handed batter's box, they'll give you a ball. So they'd run over there, and those guys would send guys back with other questions. So we would kick these kids running back and forth, just because both bullpens are the same way. We're both like, hey, we're just trying to dink around, But it was a lighthearted. If you focus too much all the time, it'll get to you. And the hardest role, in my opinion, the stress role was our role, right? The core 4, we had the stress role. We were the scapegoats. But the hardest role mentally are the mop up or the mid reliever guys, where it was like you have to be ready to pitch 2nd to 5th inning. So you feel like you're always engaged. Well, you didn't pitch then, but then all of a sudden in the 7th, we decided to put up 4 more runs. So now we're up 8. Well, now you got to get Jin back up because that guy's going to pitch. It's a constant for them, right? And that's a role we all have at one point in time. But that was the hardest role mentally, I think, in the bullpen for guys.
Yeah, I can see that, definitely. Let's talk about some postseason exploits, which, I looked up your postseason numbers with the Giants, and the best way to be a hero in San Francisco is perform in the postseason, and you did it. I mean, listen to these numbers, folks. Jeremy pitched in 26 postseason games for the Giants. His ERA, 0.69. 26 innings pitched, 11 hits, and 2 runs allowed in his postseason career with the Giants. That's how you become a hero. That's how you become a fan favorite. I want to ask you about 3 specific postseason moments because they're very memorable. And the first one was in Philadelphia, 2010 National League Championship Series, Game 6, and the fight breaks out on the field early in the game. Sanchez hits somebody. You guys are sick of each other playing, the Phillies, the Giants. They hate each other. The fans are getting crazy. And here comes the fight. And we all know what happens with the bullpen guys. It's the thundering herd, right? It's one of the funniest things ever, right? There they come. There they come. Jeremy Affeldt doesn't join the thundering herd. He stays in the bullpen, is warming up. And you look back at that now and you're like, Affeldt, that was genius. But there was a method to your madness, right? You knew that you were going to be coming into the game. So the Giants had this one guy not in the fight. It was you, and you were warming up in the bullpen. Tell us about that.
Yeah, actually, I was going to head down there just because your inclination is to just go, right? But Boch had just got me and Ram up. So Ramon Ramirez and I both got up at the same time because we didn't know what was the situation. And Johnny was not – we could tell he was not where he wanted to be. He just wasn't pitching.
He was
spraying. He wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
Yep, and he had some of those times, and so we knew it when we saw it. We're like, all right, he didn't have it today. We're gonna have to get going. And so Boch kind of got us both going, and I knew Utley just got hit, but I knew you had Ryan Howard, so they get in this brawl, and I was actually gonna go, and Gardy actually grabbed me, and he's like, no, you stay here, and I'm like, you want me to stay here? These Philadelphia fans, they're gonna I want out of here. Like, I don't want anything to do with these people. They're mean. They're freaking. They call you names
too, right? They're thinking you're scared, right? You don't want to.
Yeah, and they're like, and they're calling me so much for staying down there. And he's like, I don't care what they're telling you. Chase Utley just potentially became an MVP for the Giants because he freaking just gave you time to warm up. I had 4 pitches. I had thrown the ball 4 times, and he's like, you're going into the game. Ryan Howard is. Bochy is gonna put you in. You're going in.
Wow.
So stay down here and warm up. It's going to give you 15 more pitches. So it gave me time to warm up and feel like I had a good rhythm because I don't think right then and there when you're facing Ryan Howard in that era of baseball, you only want to go with 4 warm-up pitches and 8 on the 8 when you run in there.
Plus the crowd's going crazy, right? I mean, you're standing out on the mound. Yeah.
50,000 people are wearing the white towels. They had everything going. The energy, it was a lot. So it did. It allowed me to warm up down there, and it did. I went in, I felt pretty good with my stuff, and I was still a little bit jumpy, and Boch hadn't pitched me in a while, and me and Boch were not getting along. Him and I were not seeing eye to eye on how he was using me, and when I ran into the game, he actually put the ball in my glove and he held it in there a little extra second, and I looked at him and he said, hey, I know you and I aren't getting along right now, but you want to know why you haven't been pitching? Because I saved you for this moment. And I said, hey, Boch, take me to dinner. Yeah, I said, Boch, take me to dinner after. I've got to face a guy right now. I don't need to hear you a little because I was kind of mad at him. But then he was like, no. You get us out of this. We're going to the World Series. Wow. And I'm like, gave me a little bit. And when I got out of it, man, he even gave me credit after the game, made me feel good because he was not pitching me. He had 2 opportunities, maybe 3, in which I should have gone into the game, and they hit homers. Ankiel hit one, and the lefty for the Braves, he was with the Toronto Blue Jays, Rookie of the Year.
Oh yeah. Cody Ransom, right?
No. Keep going. Bigger, stronger guy. He was a third baseman for him.
Oh, Hinsky.
Hinsky. They hit homers, and I was warming up, and I'm about ready to throttle Boch. I'm like, are you freaking kidding? Like,
Keel's home run won the game for him.
And I was warming up. So I was hot, so, but you know what, man, just that right there, Boch and I bonded after that moment. It kind of gave me a lot of trust with him in 2012 and 2014. And, but having me come into that game right there and say, this is why I saved you for this moment right here. You're the guy that I need right now. And it was the meat of the order. Right. And so for me, it gave me a lot of hope. But it was a crazy game, and I'm glad I came through. Don't get me wrong, I could have tanked it and thrown a meatball. The first time I faced Ryan Howard in the playoffs, believe it or not, that's the last time I think I gave up a run to that point. And he was the first guy I faced in Philly when I was with Colorado, and he put one like over the bell, like dead center, so it wasn't exactly easy to face in the playoffs. So he's a tough guy.
All right, next thing I want to ask you about is Game 7 of the World Series in 2014 in Kansas City. Things are getting a little weird, and you come in and you calm things down, right? And it's a 2-2 game. You're in there, third inning, and I'm going to the Joe Panic play, right? So, and there's a reason to why I'm asking you this. So he makes the play, great play, double play, but if he doesn't make the play, it's first and third, nobody out in a 2-2 game. Am I right with what the score was, right?
Yep.
Instead, he makes this great play. You're on the mound, and instead it's 2 outs, nobody on base. Again, it's a 2-2 game. Now it's early in the game, but you got a feeling it was going to be a tight game. And I have said all along, Jeremy, that I think that play was one of the greatest defensive plays in World Series history. But it doesn't get talked about a lot. But if you think about the situation where it was in the series, it was Game 7.
Yeah.
And what that play did and how it changed the inning, I just don't think that play gets enough credit in the big World Series picture. Because you think about it, greatest defensive plays in World Series history. This one was made in a 2-2 game in Game 7. And think about how it changed that inning. And it would have been first and third, nobody out. Now, I'm not saying you couldn't have got out of it, but I felt this way since it happened, that I don't think that play gets enough credit for the importance of when, where, and it led to the Giants winning. And I'm not talking about in San Francisco. I'm talking about at a national level. People don't talk about that play enough.
Yeah, they don't talk about it, and they should, because it's not just where it was at in the game. It's the play. I mean, that was a rocket. Like, I pulled that sinker to Hosmer, so I pulled it. I mean, it wasn't where it was supposed to be. It just sunk. Or Hosmer really honestly hits a double in the gap, right? So it sunk, and so he hit it. He hit it on the ground. But the way Panic had to anticipate that first step right away. If he even like pauses, it's through the hole, right? So he has, and then he lays out, and then he gloves it and glove flips it. Amazing. And that's not an easy play. How many times have you seen second baseman try to glove flip it? It hooks their pocket and it shoots it out from there. It's not like a normal play.
Or you just get one out.
Yeah, you get one. But then Crawford comes across the bag, bare hands the catch, and then in the same momentum throws. That's a lot. And that just shows you the arm strength and the skills of Crawford. But to me, that was a lot going on right there. And in a huge situation, I mean, to me, that was the play. It is one of the best plays in World Series history, no doubt in my brain. But it also was the momentum shift to the game. It's what deflated those guys. Like, oh God, like, because it's like they knew right then, like you said, now it's going to be a dogfight because no one's giving in. Everybody's full athletic ability is coming out right now. The defense's full athletic ability is coming out because it's heightened. Everybody's backs are against the wall. Pitchers are going to throw the best pitches they've ever thrown. I was so tired. I haven't thrown 55 pitches. I can't even tell you the last time I threw 55 pitches in a game since I was a reliever, especially in the Bochy era at the Giants. I just didn't do it. And I was still able to – I couldn't even see. Like, I was blurry. Like, I had a water bubble, we found out, on the middle of my right pupil. So I was seeing Buster 3D. I had 2 Busters, and I was guessing the whole time on which Buster I was supposed to pitch to. And Buster's freaking out behind the plate. He's like, what do you mean you can't see? Well, I can't see. You better tell Boch. I'm like, you tell Boch, and then go get a defibrillator because you're gonna have to jumpstart his heart. But my and even the eye doctor said, I don't even know how you threw a strike. He's the only thing I could think of is you just have muscle memory. So you know the release point you have to have, you know the energy you have to put behind the ball to get it there. So to me, that just tells me every part of the adrenaline and the fight or flight modes kicked in. Well, it kicked in on both sides. Both bullpens are dominating. Both the hitters are not, they're getting out, but they're not giving up easy at bats. It's not a one pitch at bat, right? They're fouling off good pitches. I mean, it was crazy. And that game 7, and then what Bum did, oh my gosh, 5-inning save. I mean, that's just crazy. The whole thing, to me, that World Series, I still think, I've seen Game 7 World Series since then. I've seen other World Series. That World Series, to me, I mean, I'm sure players that played in the other ones will say the same thing, but I think that's one of the best series that was ever played in World Series history, to be honest with you.
And let's not forget, you were the winning pitcher in Game 7.
I know, and I'm not giving that back either. No. I told Bum I'm never giving that back. I will take it.
Pitchers. All right, here's my last one. Division Series, Cincinnati, 2012. It's Game 5. This question is specifically coming from my brother Dwayne. He said, "Hey, ask Affeldt this question. So you pitched the 7th inning. It's a tight game. It's 5th and final game. You're great. You're dealing. You're going to go back out there for the 8th, but somehow you got hurt in the dugout in between innings." Dwayne said that to me, and I said, "What? He did?"
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Yeah, ask him about that because I want to hear it."
Yep.
How did you get hurt in the dugout?
So I blame it on Righetti. You know, I'm sure now Righetti's going to come hunt me down, but I blame it on Righetti. So what happened is I get done and I'm still pitching because I got Jay Bruce up.
Yes.
Right? I think Jay Bruce coming up.
I think it was.
So actually, no, Jay Bruce faces Romo, but Javi had to come in to face the next lefty because they needed a lefty. But then Romo came in, and then he had to actually face Bruce to end the game, which is lefties hit pretty good off Romo, so that was a big thing for Romo. And but we come in, and I'm sitting there. I still have the game. I'm facing. Maybe it might be Votto coming up next. It might have been Votto. So anyhow, I was sitting down. I was sitting there, and I was just standing kind of in the tunnel. So where the tunnel has stairs, it kind of heads up to the dugout. I was standing on the top step of the dugout right as it was going down into the tunnel underneath. Yeah. And I'm standing there behind Rags, just sitting there. I'm just trying to – I don't love to, like, watch the game sometimes because I'm trying to focus on what my job is facing the hitter in that moment, and I don't want to get caught up in everything else and break my focus, right? I want to stay focused on what I'm trying to do. And so I just kind of was standing there, and I guess Blanco decided to swing at a pitch after it was by him. So it goes off his bat directly into Righetti. Righetti ducks. Well, I'm standing right by. I didn't see the ball. So Righetti ducks, and all of a sudden this ball's about to hit me in the forehead. So the only way I could go was down. So I went to duck straight down, but when I did that, my cleat caught I was standing on the rubber part of the steps, but part of my cleat caught the cement and slipped out. So then I slipped and fell. And when I went to put my hand back to catch myself, I caught myself right on the step, but then my body fell onto my freaking thumb, and it basically sprained my UCL of my thumb. So I couldn't move my thumb. So my thumb was dead. It was numb. I was hurting so bad. I couldn't move it. It felt like I had rolled my ankle, but I literally couldn't. It was already swollen and stiff. So I scream, and Rags looks back, and he sees me on the ground, and he had a few choice words, and he's like, "What the?" Yeah, I'm like, I'm freaking hurting. So as soon as everybody in the dugout turned to look down in the tunnel, Javi was sitting in the bullpen. And as soon as he saw the foul ball go in, and then everybody scrambled to see, Javi said, he looked at Guardy, he said, "There's only one guy that's going to get hurt dugout in that situation. It's Affeldt. I'm going to warm up." So he starts getting up to warm up. The phone rings and Affeldt just got hurt. And Javi said, "See, told you." So I'm in the x-ray room at the end of the game. So they take me to the x-ray room in Cincinnati, And Gresh is like, hey man, no offense, but you need to hurry up because
wow,
we got to see the end of this game. The guy's like, I can only go as fast as the X-ray. Like, you got to know. Gresh is like, figure it out because they got to know what to do. Like, I am I broke or? And the guy goes, there's no break. He just has, it looks like it probably a strain. There's no break though. He's fine. And then we hear everybody screaming, and Gresh and I are like, we're in a freaking bomb shelter. There's not even a TV in there, and we're hearing everybody screaming. And I'm like, did we win the game or did we lose the game?
Or lose the game.
And we're sitting there, and Gresh jumps out, and he asks the security guard. He goes, "Security guys, congratulations, you guys just won." So now I'm trying to get wrapped up and run in and celebrate with the team. I get there late. We're celebrating. It was a whole fiasco, and the rest of the playoffs, they had to numb me up. I was pitching with a sprained UCL. The only thing I could throw was a fastball because every time I tried to thumb my curveball, my thumb wouldn't work. So Rags says, I need you to throw 2 curveballs an inning. I don't care if you throw another one. Bite a stick, bite your shirt, bite your tongue. I don't really care.
Just show it, right? Just show it. Yeah.
And show it. Just show it. And so that's all I did. And it actually helped me because Prince Fielder in Detroit, I threw one of the nastiest curveballs I've ever thrown in my life. And it's because I didn't overspin it because I couldn't, or my thumb would hurt. So I finished it perfect, and it actually worked out for me. But I had to have it. I was getting that thing. I had Toradol shots. I'd have a Toradol shot in my butt like every game, like to numb me up. I'm like, I got to detox after this freaking World Series, So it worked out, but man, it was such a joke. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. And Boch, when he turned around and saw it, he was like, he was like freaking out, yelling at people. It was pretty bad, man. But I blame it on Rags because he ducked. He should have taken that one.
You know what? You were there, man, and you did it, man. You did it.
Yeah.
Still pitched to the World Series, right?
That's right.
Hey, Jeremy, we got a question from Bake the Dough, LLC. He's great. He and his wife, great people. They make unbelievable cookies. And he's got a question for you. It says, how are you with the rules today, including the pitch clock? Which is a great question. I'd be curious to see how you feel about, especially the pitch clock. That's where you're at right now.
Yeah, the pitch clocks. I here's why I don't mind it. I don't like it necessarily because I think it's causing guys to think too quick. But now that they've got that thing in their ear telling them, it's a lot easier with that. But here's why I don't have a problem with it, because when I pitched, I actually believed in that from the baseball psychology standpoint. So when I was talking to a baseball psychologist and breaking down, he said a hitter's brain sometimes cannot reset from the pitch that he just saw in less than 20 seconds. So if you can pitch, the faster you throw your next pitch, if you can say you threw a fastball up in his eyes, he took it for a ball. And now I come back with a curveball up in his eyes, his brain will actually make him. That's why some hitters they say, I couldn't pull the trigger. Yeah, because they saw it as the last pitch and it was a ball. Well, now it's a curveball. Or if you throw a sinker down and he calls it a strike, or the hitter swings at it or fouls it off, or it's a called strike, and I can throw a curveball or another sinker off that just a little lower, he's probably going to swing at it because he hasn't reset from the pitch before. But if you take 30 seconds or 40 seconds, they can clear that whole deal, right? And that's why they step out of the box and take their time. So I like rushing the hitter. I want to rush the hitter, but some guys didn't. Like Moda would have hated it. Moda took 2 minutes between each pitch. Like Guillermo would we'd all fall asleep. That guy pitching, but but not a lot. But I like it. I like because it keeps the pace of the game. Sure. What I don't like is all of a sudden guys having to they get it. Hey, the catcher, I know that's not it. I got to hurry up and pitch. And now they throw pitches they don't want to. And you've seen pitchers get mad a few times. They threw pitches they didn't want to throw, and now they're not convicted, and it gets hit out of the ballpark. So some of that stuff on how many times a catcher can come out or call time, or I get they got a little over the top back in the day when they were thinking they're stealing pitches. They come out and change every single pitch. They change the count, but man, some of that is not okay. They need to be able to step off and say, hold on.
I agree with that. And I like the pitch. I think it's great. The only thing I would change is, and I agree with you. Like sometimes you see pitchers, and pitchers have adjusted really well. I mean, they know now. Hey, you got to get my sign. Let's go. But late in the game, you do see pitchers get a little uncomfortable or they're rushing. See, I think if a hitter is allowed to step out, call timeout one time per at bat, I think a pitcher should be allowed to step off one time.
Yep.
If he's a little rushed or it's the ninth inning and there's a lot going on and I think he should be allowed, because if a hitter can step out one time, I think the pitcher should be allowed to step off without it being a, whatever they're calling it now. I don't even know.
But I agree with you on that, because you have to be able to say, hey man, this game it's hard hold on. I'm resetting real quick. And this is a big situation in the game. Like,
that's right.
like, so they've got to maybe but I mean, you start adding all that, but that's what's going to happen. They start opening the door for rules within the rules. Now you're going to have guys are just going to get confused. But I mean, some of the other stuff they're doing, honestly, the runner on second next inning is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I don't care. The reality of it is this isn't Little League. Hey, then it goes 18 innings. Okay. It's baseball. It's Major League Baseball. And but as an owner, I'm like, well, wait a minute. I'm paying these guys how many hundreds of millions on this payroll? And we're going to put a runner on second, which I could lose a game on just a non-earned run, but I don't want to lose the game. How about you make them earn the win? And so that kind of stuff I think is brutal, but it's also, you got a commissioner who never played the game. So, I mean, you're going to put up weird rules in there. I just don't know why we're agreeing to it, but the pitch clock I'm good with though.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to the 2025 Giants, and then I'll let you go, Jeremy. But we're at the midway point. They're 7 over. It's going to be tough in the division. Half game back in that wild card. I know you watch, you pay attention. Of course you do. But what do you like? What do you dislike about this team? Going into the second half, and do they have what it takes to get in this thing? I think they do, but they got to go. I think it's time. They got to go, and they got to go now.
Yeah, I think so it's a different era of baseball. So when I played, their pitching's good enough to do it. But we played 2-1 ball games all the time, right? It's changed a lot on some of this stuff, but their pitching is plenty good. I think they got a good back end. They got some of the top 3 ERAs or 5 ERAs in their back end right now in baseball, so they're good. With that, I like that rhythm. Melvin is letting them pitch. He's putting him in roles. The problem is, before Melvin, these guys didn't have roles. They were pitching. You had a free, what do they call? They had an opener pitch in 1 inning, then they would close like 2 days later. That's not a role, right? So they got roles. That's why they're doing better. And then you got starters right now. You've got 3 guys that can, I think 3 guys that'll be fine. They might need one other starter.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. That's what I think.
I think they would need one more starter, but they've got 3 that they can rely on to get them into some games a little bit. But I feel like with their offense, I think Devers is going to kick it in. I really do. I think he's just getting comfortable, and some guys just take a little bit, but I think he'll be fine. But I think they need a little more thump. I think Chapman, if he comes back healthy, he'll protect Devers a little bit. That lineup will get more protection. Those guys will get going, but you still need a guy. You have to have thump throughout your lineup now, because there's no 2-1 ball game anymore. That's just not how the game's being played, right? Like, it's hard to hold teams 2-1 when you have the Dodgers that can sit there and like, I'm just going to defer money for the next 200 years and spend $200 billion. Like there's going to be thump coming at you, so you got to have some thump coming back at them, and that's so for me, if you can get one more big time hitter, the offense needs to start clicking. Their defense is fine. I don't have a problem with their defense. One more starter, possibly, but I think you can get away with it because of the back end of your bullpen. Yeah. I think they're in pretty good position right now. But you're right. They do got to go. So
time to go. 65 games left. And I want to finish on a little more serious note. I know you are close where you live in Texas. It's fairly close to this area of heavy flooding, which is, just, tragedy beyond belief. It's hard to even imagine that this has happened, but I know you've been there. You're doing a lot to try to help the situation. And we're thinking about you and the folks that have experienced this. Thoughts and prayers out, man. But I know it's tough down there where you're at right now, and it's heartbreaking. It really is.
It is, man. Thank you for that, man. It's 300 people lost their lives. A lot of, obviously, Mystic River. A lot of those girls, 28, I believe that lost their lives. They're 8 and 9 years old, and then families hurt by that. I could not imagine what they're going through. And then the people that are just unrecovered. I was out there with a group the other day, and we spent 8 hours out there not trying to rescue. There's no more rescuing. It's recovering and trying to find closure for these families. But there's so much mud. I mean, there's 10, 12 feet of mud. Like, people, they're finding cars 10 feet down under mud. Like, it's so, you can't even, a river that's 50 yards wide. We were seeing 300 yards wide of water up over 35 feet high that had rolled through there. So people, they had no chance. It was 4 a.m, it's super, super scary and it devastating. But you know what? Texans, I can tell you right now, they're resilient people and they'll get through it. But it is no doubt, nonetheless, super sad. But I've seen so much good come of it in the sense of like the way that people have donated time, food. When I was out there doing stuff, every block, every corner, every fire department had unlimited food for people for who are helping, trying to find scenarios and help out. And the way they're coming together, I mean, they had to turn volunteers away because we have, hey guys, there's too many now. But that's to me okay, that we have too many, right? And
Absolutely.
But it's gonna be a year before we get it completely cleaned up. I think it's super sad.
Well, hang in there, man. I know you're working hard because you're an all-around good dude, man. And I'm glad I've got to know you a little bit. And keep up the good work. And we'll see you at the fantasy camp again, maybe in January.
Heck yeah. Oh yeah, I'll be there. It'll be fun.
All right, Jeremy. Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on. It's been fun.
Thanks.
All right, so Jeremy Affeldt, we call him a Giants legend. Why not? He's got 3 World Series rings, tons of postseason success, and just an all-around good guy. So we appreciate Jeremy stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed tonight's show, The Glenn Kuiper Show. All Giants, please subscribe, hit the like button, keep the comments coming. Feel free to throw some questions in there when we do the live show, but I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. We tried to maybe shift away from the day-to-day grind of this season since it's all-star break, and look back in time with Jeremy and talk about some of the fun times that he had. He's a character, but a lot of fun, and really, really just a solid, awesome all-around guy. So I hope you enjoyed the hour with Jeremy Affeldt. We'll be back with more live streams coming up next week. It's the Glenn Kuiper Show. All Giants. Thanks to everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, on my YouTube channel, these live shows that we do, they stay there. So you can go watch them at any time. So please do that. We got videos there. We're going to keep throwing out videos. And then those are all on the channel. So get there, check it out. We'll see you next week with another live stream. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Glenn Kuiper.